Welcome to Iron and Think. It's episode 7. I'm Colin here with Iron and Ink Fitness CEO Jeff Boustert and Iron and Ink Fitness head Velociraptor trainer Alec Robinson. What's up, guys?
Palmcast.
What up? Dude, have you seen the movie?
What one?
Chris Pratt?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
He's like oily with his shirt
yeah,
off.
he's
Yeah.
hot.
Mm-hmm.
But he's like, I'm a Velociraptor marine
Oh, he's like,
trainer.
I'm a Navy SEAL Velociraptor trainer scientist.
That's you.
And I fix motorcycles and drink beer on the beach.
Yeah. And he's
That's how
chiseled.
And we're going there. We're
And
going there in
we
a few
went there.
months. No, we're going there in a few
to
months.
Hawaii, yeah.
Hawaii.
Hey, I'm going to San Diego. I don't know about you guys.
Congratulations.
Cool.
I lived there.
Cool. Hawaii's
That's
way
cool.
sweeter.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Thanks, guys.
Yeah.
Anyway, we've got at least two clowns. We've got a great topic today on education. Super excited to dive in and talk about it. But first, we got some questions from you awesome listeners out there. So let's kick things off, guys. What do you say?
Let's do it.
I suppose.
All right. First one, and like he's actually daring me. Damien in this email. I don't think I can say his last name right.
Yeah, go for it.
Damien Savarino. Is that right?
That sounds
See?
right.
It sounds pretty
I
good.
like
That sounds pretty good.
a
I-
dope
find
name.
Out. We'll find out.
So Damien's question is for all three of us, and
Okay.
let's start with you two guys. And kind of looking at the end of it here is, how do you cope with? By the way, we don't have time on the podcast to read all these full questions, but we have read them, so thank you so much for sending them in.
That's awesome.
But just getting to the actual question, how do you cope with your with reality/personal demons? We all have them. So Alec, why don't we start? How do you cope with personal?
Why do
demons?
I have to start?
Because I want you to start. I'm
All
in
right.
charge now.
For me, it's...
I am the captain now.
I'm the captain. Okay. It's taken a long time to, I guess, figure out what works and what doesn't. It's one of those trial and error things. For me specifically, what I do to cope with when I'm having bad days, and my dogs have been such a huge outlet for me. And it kind of ties in like with my family's nonprofit. It just shows just being around dogs in general. And I think, I kind of speak for everyone for this one. It does something. It's that connection that you have with them. So regardless of the day that I'm having, when I call it a day and I go home and I get to spend some time with my dogs, it makes everything go away. Just seeing the kind of the stupid little things that they do and everything like that, it cheers me up. That working out has always been a really, really great outlet for me. Just, we talked about it and a few episodes ago. It's such a great stress relief, releasing those natural endorphins. Music, especially being in the music scene now and everything, and just really diving into that's just listening to a good song can really kind of change your mentality. And then submerging myself in work and doing all this every single day, it keeps you going. It's those standstill moments when you have nothing to do, is when you start thinking about things. If you keep yourself busy, not just like busy work, but work where it's constructive, you're doing things to benefit yourself. Mm-hmm. I think that's the best possible way you can do to kind of cope with hard situations, is by, finding your passion, doing things that are beneficial not only to you, but giving a service out to other people as well. That's what I've found to be kind of the best way to help better myself in a healthy, positive way. So I guess I'd say those are some of the things.
It's a good list.
It's a really good list.
Yeah.
I mean, I remember you saying a couple episodes that working here at Iron and Ink was kind of your AA.
Oh yeah,
So that's
for sure.
Yeah, it's just being
Changed my
productive
life.
And, yeah,
I got you,
Change.
dog.
it's really cool.
I got you, dog.
And in all serious notes,
Yeah,
so that's
yeah,
that's
no,
awesome.
yeah.
So, I mean, Jeff, what about you? How do you cope with personal demons?
Very, very similar to what Alex saying. I mean, we're very similar on the levels of music, playing drums in a band. It's physically demanding. Creating music, there's a lot of like business that's stressful behind the music, but that's a blast. I love doing that. That's one of my outlets, listening to other, certain artists' music, clothing, doing that, what we do here at Iron and Ink. So diving into new product, creating stuff for people that support what we're doing, and working out, huge stress relief. I love that kind of stuff. And yeah, I do realize it's hard for me. See, that is my version of relaxing. So like you nailed it. I love when people are like, man, you like always do stuff. Don't you ever like just chill out? I'm like, that is my chilling out. That is fun to me. And I do watch a movie or something like before I go to bed, or like when I'm like kind of crashing at the house, or if I'm exhausted. But
Sure.
I think Alec nailed it. I'm very similar. So I like doing that stuff. Music, working out, and being here. Fun. And what it boils down to is what you like to do, right? If it's like, dude, you like washing cars, like go wash cars. Like if that gives you that. I know my old roommate likes to vacuum.
It's
Dude,
actually
he
no, I can
loves it.
totally
Yeah.
relate to things. I mean, when
Yeah.
it was snowing here, so we're in Minnesota for everyone listening, and we had a big snowstorm a couple days ago.
Yeah.
Afterward, I went out and chipped ice for an hour and a half with an ice pick just to clear my sidewalk. I mean,
I
like
just
it's
want to be
therapeutic.
like, that sounds fucking horrible,
Yeah.
but no,
but
that's awesome.
it was. It
Good
was
for
like
you.
it was just therapeutic. But,
I'm visualizing you doing
Yeah.
that, and that makes me like laugh.
Well, it's
like
funny.
I
you just
got
go,
a workout in, Jeff.
tink, like just chip it away.
We're talking about
That's awesome, dude. That's
we're
good.
talking about how staying busy is that outlet, and we were talking because me and Jeff and Mandy were going to Hawaii for 11
You
days.
keep saying that. So you know what? San Diego. I'm going with Rachel, and we're gonna have an awesome time.
Yeah, I don't doubt you will.
Okay.
If you need some, I know all the hidden
Don't
spots.
send me any photos, but I will ask
I know
you
all
for
the hidden spots.
spots.
Yeah. But the funny thing is, we're going on vacation to like decompose and everything. But it's actually we're talking. It's going to be
It's a huge thing for the
stressful.
brand.
It's going to be, but it's going to be stressful being away.
Yeah.
From work.
Yeah.
So we're going to decompose, but at the same time, it's going to add
Yeah.
a little bit of stress being away. It's just kind of funny how that works out. And like I've been on vacations and everything where you're like 2, 3, 4 days in, you're like, all right,
You're good.
I got to get back to it.
I think you'll survive in Hawaii.
Oh yeah, I know.
It is-
I know for sure.
On all seriousness, no, it's.
Yeah.
I think that's when you're doing the right thing, and it's not like I've been better about learning how to deal with that because it'll get done, but you care so much about not what you're doing, but what you're providing the people that support this, and I want to make sure those orders get out on time and make sure that people are satisfied with that, and I don't want to ever, not lay off the gas pedal, so to speak, because then it's like. Yeah, I mean, we're out, doing the Hawaii thing, but then at the same time, too, we want to make sure that we're still even doing work while we're in Hawaii is great opportunity for content and, help expand the brand and do stuff out there. So we'll be doing work. But yeah, you're totally right. It's an interesting thing when you meet people that they're like, you're crazy. I'm like, it's all good that you don't understand.
Yeah.
It's just a different lifestyle. And it's on me. It's 100% on me to either succeed or fail. So knowing that it's awesome because then it's like, well, if I'm not putting in work and then people aren't opting into the brand and orders aren't coming in, then it's my fault.
Doors closed then.
Yeah.
Doors
So,
closed.
Well, it's good when that kind of lines up as
Yeah.
keeping yourself busy.
For sure.
Yeah, I guess for me, I definitely can relate with the dog thing. I have a dog,
Oh, yeah.
golden retriever, love him.
Dodger.
I definitely, Dodger.
Yeah, he's a nut job.
He is, but
he always goes for
definitely-
your sack
Yeah.
or your asshole.
That is his-
Immediately,
that's
he's
his
just
trademark.
straight in there. He's like, hello.
Uh-huh.
I'm like, dude,
They're
personal
just,
stuff.
I mean, yeah, they're therapeutic.
You've trained
though.
him well, Colin. But it's a good dog. It's a good
Yeah,
dog.
I would say honestly, the other thing for me though is reading.
Yeah.
So
oh,
reading
yeah,
at
that's,
night, getting into a good book. I
yeah,
really
man.
like doing that, or just honestly having dinner, like getting a burger with a friend and
Yeah.
talking.
Yeah.
Those are great things for.
Yeah, actually,
decompressing.
you just nailed one of my new bringing back an old thing, something I used to do, and I'm back into reading now, and I actually get pumped to go to like Barnes and Noble and shit.
You just get
Yeah,
you lose
for
yourself
sure.
for a little while.
Yeah,
which
I
is
like
great.
it.
I wish I could read.
So we have ooh
Poor
boy.
guy.
That's why our Velociraptor trainers aren't responding to commands. He hasn't
Yeah.
read them.
I know.
As long as you can color. in
Yeah,
a book, you're
something
fine.
like that. So, okay, question number 2. This one is from Kenneth Scott. Again, guys, thank you so
What's
much
up,
for
Kenneth?
the lengthy
He's the man.
the lengthy emails. We've totally read them all. We're just gonna
Yeah,
kind of
thank
summarize it on the podcast for the sake of time. So, Kenneth's question is kind of like when you have bad days, how do you when things crop up, how do you deal with them? Kind of a tag on to what we were just talking about. But like with personal demons, I guess, like when something bad comes up, like in the past starts creeping its way in and you get frustrated with more anxiety, like how do you personally deal with that, Alec?
I honestly, for a long time, it was one of those things where I felt if I was to ask for help, it was just like a, alpha male thing. It's a sign of weakness. Do it yourself because that's just the way you do it.
Oh,
You
don't
just
ask for
Yeah,
directions.
you figure it
Yeah.
out yourself. No, my support system is absolutely everything to me. The people who are closest to me, and it's a very small group of people, and I love that, where I don't have to question the motive. What was that?
Oh no, I just waved to everyone. YouTube land.
I don't have to question the motives of the people in my life. I know that they're in my life because they care about me and they respect me and everything. So when I have those, really, really bad days where I'm like, oh, I could really use a drink right now and all this, I definitely confide in those people. I mean, it's kind of funny, like me and Jeff spend how many hours together, but the minute we like go our separate ways, it's like 20 minutes later.
Hey man.
Phone call.
What are you doing?
Yeah, it's crazy, but no.
You saw me all day, asshole. Leave me alone.
But confiding in my support system has been probably the best possible thing I can do, and building that strong support system where regardless of who I go to, I know that they're gonna be there for me, and that it's not like oh shit, Alex being a burden because he's got issues going on right now, where I know that if I go to them for something, that they're going to be there to hear me out, help me in any possible way that I need. So yeah, those bad days are always leaning on that support system for sure.
Awesome. Yeah, we mental health episode, we just talked on how important that was, and that just kind of reiterates it. Yeah. So a good support system is everything, and don't be afraid to talk about it.
No, absolutely
that's the
not.
number one thing.
Yep.
So, all right, we've got one last question here, and
awesome.
This is from Zach Drex at Zach Drex, and it's a question for everyone. So, Jeff, let's start with you this time. For sure. Do you have any go-to workouts you love as far as set or rep schemes?
Never do lower body, bro. No, I'm kidding. No. Fuck cardio. No, I'm kidding. I try to mix it up, because obviously, Colin, you and I train. The more variety from training experience you can throw your body curveballs, the more it's going to change. We're creatures of habit. Your body adapts to things. So when it comes to different types of tension, try to think of different ways to stimulate the body. Not just increasing weight up or down. It's using bands, using explosive movement, using body weight, then going into supersetting with heavy weight. I think a lot of people that I've noticed, if you see kind of just in general in fitness, they get really fixated on a number. Yeah, if I bench 2 plates, then that's like a goal. And it's great if that's their goal and they want to accomplish that. But I think the wheelhouse needs to be opened up with a lot of people. Hey, just even if you're doing certain body parts like chest and arms, totally do different movements this time than you did last time. And I think if you start with that or utilize that in your lifts, you're going to see a lot. One, you're going to feel it. You're going to be sore as shit all the time. And then you're going to notice a lot better change and growth. And, so that's what I'd recommend. Don't do 3 sets of 10 bullshit. God, I don't know why people get fixated on the number 10 and they stop. Always go heavier.
That would be a good mystery to find out where the number 10 came from.
A lot of times too, it's always typically go a little heavier, and you always can reduce your weight, with volume training. I like volume training because to me, I get more out of that personally, and everyone's different. Alec might respond to volume training not as good as I do. You never know. So, I would just say the key to success in fitness is variety. That's the main goal.
Awesome. Alec, what about you?
No, I completely agree with what Jeff said. Muscle memory kicks in so fast. It's insane. It's to the point where your body knows exactly what you're gonna do. So things I favor more. I love working with bands, incorporating bands into my workout, whether it's for anything. I love using bands. And I definitely say I'm more of a dumbbell user than, straight bars.
More of a shake weight user.
Yeah. Exactly. Yes. But yeah, I always try to switch it up, switch days up. It's not like I'm not all about the International Chest Day on Monday. I actually never do chest.
There's an International Chest Day on Monday.
Yeah, that's like the chest day.
I always.
That's like you not knowing what fleek is, though.
I always. The only actual set day that I have is I always do my first, because I'll always do legs at least twice a week. So I'll always do legs on Monday because everyone's doing chest. So that just frees up everything for legs.
Well, you reminded me.
I always hit legs on Monday.
It's not for me. It's not so much like a set workout, a lot of the times I'm working with Jeff, but when I do it on my own, I'll typically try to do legs in the middle of the week so I can split those body parts up.
Yep.
So do upper, give it a rest, do legs, then do upper again. I would say like the closest thing to a routine I personally have would be like an arm workout. It's like, curls, preacher curls, just like the foundation movements, I guess. But a lot of free weights is what I like to use.
I love free weights. Yep. Dumbbells are the shit.
All right. Well, awesome. Thank you for your questions, guys.
Yeah, thank you. That's awesome.
Yeah, definitely. We want to keep doing this going forward, and we'll try to get to as many as we can. It's awesome. So I guess jumping into our main segment here. So a couple of episodes ago, we had a kind of a rant on wanting to do an episode about education. And it's been in the spotlight a lot lately, especially with the whole debate on whether or not to arm teachers with guns.
A lot of people, even before that, just talk about the value of education now with everything. So,
I mean, before we even go like any further, by the way, I think that's a horrible idea, arming teachers with guns.
Yeah, probably not the best.
I don't think that's smart at all.
You don't think so?
No, not at all. Not one bit.
Coming from you,
I'm trying to imagine like my 65-year-old Mrs. Matheson with like a sawed-off shotgun.
Got a 45 on her hip.
Yeah, no, it's just...
Miss Matheson, I believe I deserve an A. She just pulls out a 45.
No, you don't.
No, you don't. Sit back down.
It's like, yeah, I mean,
bad.
It's really bad, though. It's like, all joking aside, like, I think that is a terrible idea, and those have really no place in schools you're trying to make safer. I mean, that's like almost as dumb as the axe throwing bar.
Yeah,
the axe throwing bar.
Yeah, in Minneapolis,
That's
there was
the best idea I've ever heard.
just like the man bun, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. There was a bar in Minneapolis that I saw the ad and I thought it was a joke, and I literally was glued to the TV because I go, this can't be real.
But
and
it is.
It was like Channel
But
5
it
News.
is.
They're like, no, Minneapolis, there is the new trend, the axe throwing bar. Guy pulls up, lumberjack shirt, plaid, the big beard, and he's like, yeah, I got a good, nice, tasty lager, good IPA here, and a nice sharp axe, and he throws it into target. So imagine a shooting range, but you have the wood,
The throwing
and you're
axes.
throwing the fucking axe while they're drinking booze.
While you're inebriated, yeah.
Yep, I'm
That's-
like, ooh,
wow.
boy.
There's
got to be a waiver.
Been
There's
more
like 5
excited
waivers.
to try a new place out than this axe bar. I have to go there.
I know.
It would be
It's
so
crazy.
much fun, especially being sober, watching all these people.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
People watching, you're right. It would be awesome.
Crazy.
oh my.
I'm standing in the background.
I
Where's
mean,
the...
they must have a really good
you
attorney.
got to sign a waiver before you go
Oh,
in
for
there.
sure.
You probably have
All
to sign
that.
like
Oh, yeah.
5 waivers before you go in there.
All right,
Like,
boys.
this is
All right,
probably a bad
boys. I
idea.
think we got something
Yeah,
to do.
we got a wood fire. So every bit of wood chopped in the establishment goes to good use.
Yeah. While you're drinking a lager, eh?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Anyhow.
Well, okay, jumping back on this though. So, Alec, you had a pretty good idea last week.
Really
when
good
we were-
idea.
Actually, yeah, I'm being dead serious. A really good idea on just the school shooting, since we were just on that topic, and how to prevent them. Let's tell the people.
Well, I think one being coming from the military, I was infantry, so when you get out of the military, there's really only a few options to go with that route. You're only qualified to do so many things.
Like
I mean,
private contracting.
Yep, private contracting, police work, all that type of thing, and then so you're like, oh, okay, well, this is what I did for however many years. What do I do now? Just thinking it would be so smart, and it would give these veterans or veteran police officer or anyone who had that type of job and now they're out of work, it would give them purpose again. And I think it would be extremely beneficial to have all these schools contract out private contractors
To protect the children.
to be security for these schools.
Yeah.
And to have it would definitely be determined on how large the school is for how many numbers of people. But you think if you're walking or you are going to a school and you see a bunch of dudes strapped at the door or whatever, you're probably not going to go and try to start shit there. So
No, and I don't even think it's like as drastic.
I don't
as
think it has to be that. I think if taking your idea and like you're one of the faculty members now. Like you're
eating lunch with the
you're hanging out with
teachers,
the
you're
teachers.
walking in the hallways,
You're wearing
talking to the kids.
you're wearing what you are, but without the man bun. You know.
Why?
And then,
What's wrong with the man?
I don't.
bun?
Is that allowed? I don't know.
That's probably allowed.
But so like the whole point is, you're conceal and carry.
Yeah.
You're highly trained. I would rather. I am not a parent, but as a parent, when I just common sense, I would rather have an individual such as you trained to if under pressure situations handle it, to respond and know what to do, instead of someone who doesn't have the training and the only thing they have is like, very low grade mall cop or some type of security work, and they have a conceal and carry.
Well, and I think it would definitely prevent these things from happening. But let's say something let's say something were to happen.
Right.
You have multiple guys there that have a plan of action that all the faculty members know. So
right.
A happens. This is what you're gonna do. We're gonna take care of the problem.
And
you're gonna minimize damage that's done.
Totally.
Well, like the whole thing with that too. See, like already that's a military plan of action. That's not a fucking bullshit government hide under your desks.
Yeah.
Like
Did you see
would
the
lock
thing I
the
told
door.
you?
Lock the door.
What was the security
The
system?
security thing, they're like, hide in this corner, kids, and then they flip the desks up. And then what I was like, okay, that's not going to do any good. All the kids put their books in front of their face. I'm like, last time I checked, a book's not going to stop a bullet.
And then they locked the doors.
It automatically locks with bulletproof doors from
what
the inside.
What happens if the shooter is in there?
Yeah,
now you have a
exactly.
hostage situation.
Now you have a hostage.
Yeah.
It just doesn't make sense. So
I just think it would be for people to know that all these schools have, highly trained people there to prevent these things from happening. It would be such a deterrent for anyone.
Well, yeah.
Be like, well, I'm not going to have any success in doing what I planned on doing, so why would I do it now? It'd be such an incredible deterrent for all these people. And like I said at the beginning, it gives these people such purpose again in their lives to do what they were trained to do for so many years, interacting, with all sorts of people again, getting to know all the kids going to school, all the faculty members, everything. They get to wake up in the morning and they get to go to a job that they enjoy, knowing that they're there to protect these kids.
It's honorable.
Yeah.
It's very...
It fits in with all the ideals of the military. You hit it on the head. I think there's there really is. There's so much honor in that. It not only does it protect like kids and provide a deterrent, in addition to obviously mental health, which everyone needs to be taking more seriously, which is the root of a lot of these things. But I mean, it helps the military veterans too. It does. It gives them that sense of purpose, which I think is really good.
Yeah, I mean, you look at like some like
what jobs.
Yeah, I mean, you're creating jobs. Okay, you have to give a man or a woman who's highly trained to protect your children a full salary with benefits, but you're bitching about that. But you can pop $14 million on a football field at a high school.
It's
what
ridiculous.
The fuck?
Can you imagine that? Let's say a school shooting happens and these people prevent it. All these parents would go up to these people. Thank you so much.
You saved my kid's life.
Thank you so much.
Oh my god, yeah.
Just did.
Those are the type of friendships that will last a lifetime.
Yeah.
And it's like, even if they don't, just like think of the values those guys would instill into those kids, like of hard work and duty and all of that. Like,
and discipline.
Yeah, there's
seeing
such a match.
Such a disciplined person walking around their school. Yeah,
it's like having the cool, like kind of like Mr. Haybison for me in the past episode is you're looking up to that person. They might not be teaching you curriculum or things in the class, but knowing they're around too. If I were a student, I would be able to like relax more and actually be creative and do what I'm supposed to do in school, knowing that he's there, protecting us and is aware of like, and like Alec was saying too, like you got little Timmy who's the one who's been maybe tweeting shit or posting shit on social media that's like, I'm gonna fuck shit up. And he walks in a room and like trains these kids of like, hey, this is what's going on in this school. That kid might think twice now about like, maybe I don't want to come into school with a gun.
We're not even touching on so many of these, but think of how that would impact bullying.
Oh yeah.
And like how drastically is going to drop.
Yeah, good point. Never really
think about
like
that. Like self-defense classes.
Totally.
Like that, especially like women are going to want going into like these are just great topics that should be taught. And I think more than anything, they're just instilling attitude.
Yeah.
The right attitude.
Well, you just think so. All these situations obviously put so much fear into the parental figures of these students. They're terrified for their kids to go to school because they don't know what's going to happen. But also there's this on the other end that I think people overlook a lot is the students. They have to go to the schools where these shootings are happening.
Yeah,
you don't think they're
to.
nervous?
Yeah.
They're like, shit, it happened in wherever. It's more than
it just happened in Orono.
Yeah,
it's so bad. Like,
so they're on edge at school. They're obviously not putting the effort that they could be putting in. Having all these people or having these men and women in
teachers
the school,
as well.
Yeah, to prevent these things. It's such a weight lifted off these kids' shoulders to actually be able to study and to do better in school, because that's just one element that they don't have to worry about.
I mean, for the parents, like, I know a lot of my friends who are parents, like, that's peace of mind. I was talking to my friend who's a teacher at a school, and he thought, like, that idea was, like, the best idea ever. He's like, why not? Like, that makes so much sense.
I've told, I think, 2 or 3 of my clients, and they currently have kids. One of my clients, his kid is in Orono, so they had the whole lockdown. He said Orono did an awesome job about, in 15 minutes, every parent was notified. They had snow plows blocking in parents. Of course, the dipshit parents are like, not my kid driving to the school, and it said, do not come to the school. There was like blocks of cars of just moms and dads.
It's like, what are you going to do?
Yeah, it's like, you got to follow the rules. But the thing is, when you have action, or Orono was prepared, they took action and they handled it. But yeah, you're right. There's a peace of mind for the student. But if I were a teacher, knowing if you were the guy that's on staff protecting us and you're there day in and day out, I would actually like going to my job a little bit more, knowing that one of the students or someone wouldn't harm us.
There's no difference in nowadays, especially with how frequent these shootings are, to walking around in the Middle East, where you walk out your door, you don't know if you're going to come back that day. It's sad that it's coming to that, to go to school for these teachers
to learn
and students, that it could be that school any single day.
Well, and now it's sad. It's a question of when, not if.
Yeah.
Like, when is the next one going to happen? And that's why we need there's a lot of things that need to happen. But,
well, and then it kind of turns the value of, is school worth it? Kind of what, then it's like, well, that
a lot of parents are like, I'm not I will quit my job and homeschool
totally
them. I'm
you
not
got
sending
it.
them to school.
You got it. Yeah.
And it's that's but I guess, like, kind of jumping into our next little topic here on the segment is, so, like, we talked about school shootings. I think that's just an amazing idea, is having, veterans. Like, I think they're such a perfect match.
Yeah, and they get obviously they have to qualify and they do training and
there'd
make
have to be a lot of screening.
A very strict screening process, yeah.
But
obviously.
The idea is there.
But so what classes in junior high and high school, how should they be restructured? So, changing gears here. Right now, we have things like AP European History, Advanced Calculus, and all these things that are great, but not everyone needs to take those. And, I mean, there are just, like, a lot of math classes that you're required to take. And, for example, I was required to take, I think, 4 in high school.
I think it was you have to take like algebra 2 up to algebra 2 or something like that,
which you're never going to use.
At math.
I actually had to go to, like, remedial math classes, like Huntington School or something. Like, I needed outside help to get through these advanced classes that I never used.
Yeah.
And that's just, I think that if we did things such as, how to balance a checkbook, how to iron a shirt, like, these are like kids are wondering these questions. Adults still don't know these things.
Yeah.
Why aren't our high schools and junior highs teaching this basic curriculum, essentially to prepare you for real life?
Well, I love that term that you just said, and I've heard that when I was growing up and going through school. It's like, hey man, like, you're out of high school, we're getting you ready for real life. I'm like, no, you fucking didn't. You didn't do shit when it came to that. It was basically, high school was just full of emotion because all the kids don't know what the fuck they're doing, and you're like, what's cool? How am I cool? I like this girl, and you're young, and you just don't know what the fuck
right here. Everyone's on it.
Now
and
everyone
they're supposed to be paying attention.
Totally. And now I'm talking about back when I was in school, pre all that. It's like, even in that time, this is before technology was popping off. It's like, you just didn't know anything, which is okay, but then you needed some sort of guidance, right? So then they push you in this class, you go there, you just have to pass, get out of high school, and then it's moving on to what they called the real world, which college isn't the real world. I hate to tell you, everybody.
College is a bubble.
It's not even close to the real world. So the funny thing is, when you go into then college, I right now can rattle off anthropology, Spanish history, calculus, all these classes I took, worthless, did nothing for what I'm currently doing in my career to build something. The whole structure, there's value in school, without a doubt.
No, we'll get to that like later.
But it needs to be completely gutted, revamped, restructured to, common sense shit. Like you said, like, hey, here's an ironing board. Do you know how to do that for a job interview?
Do you know how many people don't know how to do that?
Oh, yeah, I'm sure there's a shit ton. Look it up. Google it.
It's like, it's like social
Seriously,
media.
Google it. That'd be funny.
How
many people don't? I bet you there is.
Well, no, I mean, I've seen a lot of people go in with like wrinkled shirts and stuff to interviews. How to use social media? Like, you can't not know how to use social media in today's age.
The big thing is, pre all this, we didn't know that a lot of things were going to change to what we have now with iPhones and technology, but like myself, speaking for experience, is that, I have a 4-year degree in kinesiology. So being in the training world, there's value there. It's kind of like, now do you have to have a 4-year degree like you used to have a degree in kinesiology to have a CSCS, a certified strength conditioning specialist cert? And sure shit, now you don't anymore. You just pay for it online, take the test, you're at that level. Mm-hmm. So it's funny how
that's what I did.
Yeah, that's what they do now. At that level, they just go, well, take this test, you're fine. And I think there's certain value with school, but I feel that now with technology, we have to look at, like, when you're in class, guys, this is your setup for an iPhone. This is how you can conduct a business plan using Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook, how to create a brand, if you're an artist, that's your passion. Here's how you connect with people to become a thriving artist, a painter, a musician.
You know what would be a great class is the reality of the music industry.
That
how many people? Does it really?
Yeah,
in schools? I never heard of that.
If you go to music school.
Okay, not like a conservatory. I'm talking like regular high school. Everyone wants to be in a cool band. Or they did when I was graduated in 2008. Yeah. But that was like a big thing. And
I mean, I guess, not even being on the instrument side, because obviously music school is like teaching you how to be better at your instrument. But I think in everything you do, it has to have more of a common sense driven curriculum to then apply that to becoming whatever you think in your head. Because everyone's version of success is different. But when you have at least some sort of common sense curriculum to push you in the direction of, like, now you can give it a shot. Now you can do it. When I sat in class, I'll never forget this. I was at a massive fucking lecture hall. Some guy who was like 80 years old, ancient, didn't give a shit to be there. And he's talking about fossil rocks. I'm thinking about, when's the next house party? Yeah. Where's this really cool chick that I met who's sitting 3 rows back? I could give a fuck to be here. No value at all. But if you're engaging the students, and because we know technology is here to stay, how do we engage them in classes? Like, everybody, let's link up on Twitter, on Snapchat as a class. Let's do our assignments and do different things like that.
I would absolutely have like a class, like back in the, I would have had like a group Facebook for class. Totally. And, they didn't when I was in high school. I know a lot of people are doing that now, and that's great. But it's just the mold of the current education system, and especially with college, which we're about to talk about, just does not fit the 21st century student.
It's like everyone's glued to their phone as it is. Why not use that to benefit these young minds?
Well, and a reason I think a lot of people, they want to fight that is that the people teaching it aren't a guy like you and me or you. It's someone who's, our parents are older, and not all teachers, but a good handful, and they don't know that world, and they're gonna fight it and not accept it. And like you've heard this in other podcasts, and I hear this from very, very well-known, successful entrepreneurs and business people. They're like, if you fight it, you'll fail. You need to accept technology, use it to your advantage. Like, literally, you should have the conversation with yourself, like, it is what it is, and move the fuck on. And if you're not willing to do that, you're going to be fucking ancient, left in the dust. And 2 to 10 other brands or companies or people are going to be thriving and successful at what they want to do because they accepted technology and they're utilizing it. There you go.
Well, yeah, prime example, like with my family's nonprofit, there was such a small presence on social media. And I was like, Mom, you're dropping the ball here.
Yeah.
something needs to happen. I took over the Instagram, started
Plug.
networking.
The plug.
Started networking and everything. It's starting to grow, and the connections that have been able to be made for the nonprofit has skyrocketed it in such a small amount of time by doing this.
Yeah.
And it's free.
Yeah, the one thing I understand if people can't necessarily wrap their head around that yet, but like when you fight it, I just look at you and I just go, well, your loss, my gain. Like when you explain to people like, hey man, you're not utilizing YouTube. And you don't have to be a phenom at it as long as you're executing something.
It's not like you have to like every single platform.
Not at all. But as long as you're using the platforms to some degree and doing that, you'll be better off. Like it is work. It's not something where you can just and this is just the day and age we live in. And you can tell people that are on their social and like really pushing it, but it's legitimate and it's got good content and they're doing things like we are right now. So we're here with a podcast and we Google how to set up a podcast and we're doing it, you know, and that's what's so amazing is like people need to not fight it. Like be thankful as shit that you have these platforms. I mean, the responses we're getting from people opting into this podcast, which is at not a Joe Rogan status or anything, but like
we're episode 7 right now.
We're episode 7. Like we had this conversation. Just Colin and I were talking about how like, dude, what happens when we hit episode 200? Yeah. You know, the amount of people we're able to reach. Like, I'm so thankful that I'm living in this era right now. And people that can't comprehend that, dude, you're missing the boat. That's all and that's correlating to schools, like get with the fucking program. Like when I hear these teachers, they're like, bro, I don't want to.
Revamp the fucking program.
Dude, it's like you guys just need to accept it and let's go. Let's make it valuable because I hate to tell you, you could be out of a job real quick.
You know what a perfect class name is that I just thought of is There's Not a Nat
Don't give it to him. Don't give it to him.
There's not a nat for that.
I like that.
And it's just, God, you could just go through so many things that, like, people should know.
Yeah.
Like, especially even with, like, the English literature classes, you don't need to read Shakespeare. You don't need to read all those guys, but you do need to know how to do proper grammar.
Yeah. I think it's cool, like, if you're a writer, Colin, so it's cool to, like, learn about history and, like, where, Shakespeare. And, like,
I loved history.
Yeah, it's cool, but, like, do that, and also like this is called Common Sense 101. Hi, I'm your instructor. Like, here we go. And like
take those electives if you want them. Give them the option, but the core curriculum that people need to get a high school diploma,
the generals, like the generals,
that needs to be altered.
Totally. I mean, I remember that anthropology was one of my generals. It has zero use for me in my entire life. Mm-hmm. Not knocking it. People that are in that career or decide to go that route. But learning about that stuff, I'm like, this doesn't apply to me at all. So, yeah, I agree with you, man. Like, especially now if I'm a freshman walking into my first class at university, I've got my iPhone 10 in my pocket, and I'm doing shit via social before I even walked in the class. That's a different world than when I graduated in 2006. Going like, holy shit, the iPhone wasn't happening. So
if people want a perfect example of technology, here's like what you do. You look at Times Square when it was New Year's in 2000 and when it was New Year's in 2010.
I did see a picture where they showed the boom.
Look how drastically different it is. Yeah. It's insane.
They had the cameras,
the cameras, holding it. Everyone's got
and
the
now
cell
everyone's
phones.
Doing the cell phone. Yeah.
Like, or are we going to be like laser vision? Like,
in 20... It probably will.
25?
You think like with like rock shows back in the day.
Yeah.
People held up lighters.
Now it's their cell phone.
Now it's your fucking cell phone light.
Yeah.
With the light.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, and like I've heard musicians and they say, pull out your cell phones. Like that's what they're saying instead of pull out your lighters.
Yeah.
Because smoking is a disgusting habit.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of funny when you think about that. You're like, fuck, there it is. That's the technology curve. And stop fighting at people.
It's an exponential curve.
Yeah.
It's so insane.
It's crazy, man.
Yeah. It's
But I think it'll just benefit everybody though, especially in school, and the amount of money that's being sunk into, and nothing's perfect. I mean, I've heard so many stories of, there are people that are surgeons. Like one of my buddy he's going to school to be a brain surgeon. I truly feel there is no technology driven for that. You need to go to school, learn how to about
one
the
of
human
the
body.
few professions that you will need
Lawyers,
to, like,
another
yes.
one. Being a lawyer, a doctor, I feel the schooling is super important. But when it comes down to, like, you know, entrepreneurship, like, I never went to school to be an entrepreneur, and that's what I am. So how do you do it? You know, it's super trendy right now, and it's like the thing. But if you think about it, it's like boils down to entrepreneurship's common sense and passion and drive for what you want to do, and then utilizing a team and finding the people that are good at
You know who
boosting that
teaches
up.
all of those things? Military veterans.
Military veterans, yeah.
Get them in the schools.
Yeah.
Kind of jumping topic then. So, like, let's talk about higher education now.
Okay.
Moving into college, the realm of college.
Yeah.
How should they be restructured? Because, again, college is not high school. That's an elective that people
Right.
choose to take. Do you need to go to college in order to make money?
Oh. Well, I went to a university, Colin.
I went to a university.
Alec didn't, so you can't be in this
I
comment.
think you need to get up and leave. Dude,
Yeah, you're gonna have
you're
to
not
go,
you're not
bro.
qualified. You don't
You
have
were a
this
Marine.
piece of
Sorry,
paper.
dude. You're not. But there you go.
I
went to
love how
school-
like
I
his
went-
job was like way harder than both of ours, like exponentially combined.
I went
Totally.
to- I went to-
Mentally and
We're
physically
just go rolling in sweatpants on a set like a
hungover.
hungover. Shit.
I went to the
Alex.
School of Hard Knocks.
Yeah, dude,
Yeah.
that's and that's being super funny, sarcastic, but that's our point is like, do you need to have that degree? No. And what's funny is I think I was talking to you about it today. I think society, again, this is back to those norms, but what's kind of fucked up, and I used to think this way, now I don't give a shit, is when people are like, oh, where did you go to school? It's like a conversation
Yeah.
piece. And I'm like,
It's almost like snooty.
Oh,
It
it's
is.
a complete
really
What kind of-
judgmental
it's
thing.
a very
Oh,
judgmental.
you went to
yeah.
a private school? Mhm.
oh, dude,
Oh, you
there's
just went to a state school?
Yeah, and that's the funniest part. That's a lot, like a big question. I actually have told people currently that, that I've met that are like, yeah, I'm going to a private college. And I go, and the first thing that fucking pops in my head goes, damn, your parents are going to be fucking in the hole on that
I cannot
investment
wait
hard.
to read these statistics.
Yeah.
We'll
Yeah.
get into this.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
no,
yeah.
keep talking.
But so what happens is I think about, well, clearly the kid's not paying for it because you can't afford a fucking private college.
What high school kid
Right.
pays, unless, I mean, they do. They're out there. They're very hard workers, but not like unless they get a scholarship,
Yeah.
what kid out of high school is paying for a private college by themselves?
None, very few. But the
Pretty
whole
sure they
yeah.
don't exist.
Because
Well,
I don't even think you can get a full ride scholarship to a private school. Is that
No, you can.
Can you?
Yeah, you can, but again, they're very hard fought.
because
over.
I know for a fact because both my siblings are currently or went to private schools, and however high you scored on your ACTs and your GPA, you get so much
Yep.
money towards school and everything. But I don't ever remember hearing like oh yeah, you're going to Saint wherever you can get a full ride scholarship.
Okay,
So-
so I mean, the whole funny thing about that though is I remember even when I was in college, like a buddy was like, I'm going to St. John's, I'm going to St. Ben's,
Private colleges.
private
Yeah.
colleges, and I'm like, I kind of roughly knew, and I'm really lucky. My parents set aside money for me and my brother. The rule was my parents said you can go to an in-state school, or you get in-state reciprocity, which is like Minnesota, Wisconsin, Iowa,
Essentially,
Dakotas.
the Midwest.
Yeah, it's kind of like the
Yeah.
Midwest Leaf, and like you get a massive discount if you're from Minnesota and you go there. So I was like, no, I want to go someplace warm all year round, blah, blah, blah. But then the reality kind of set in because my parents instilled a shitload of common sense into me, thank God. And they're like, yeah, but think about this. You're coming out of debt. When my dad said that, and I'm super lucky, my dad's like, but there's a rule. I want you to pass all your classes, get at least B's, keep it in the good range. And he said, oh, and get a fucking job while you're at school. So I was driving a forklift at Menard's distribution center, making $15 an hour as a college kid. That was baller shit, man.
That's
I was like
beer money
I was
right
like
there.
P Diddy at the bars on the weekend, just throwing down ones like let's go, right? So the whole point is though, like there were still rules set in play, but there's complete and utter it's bullshit and just ludicrous when I hear people go, well, I'm going to a private college, and you're claiming and what people do is they think that if they look at that resume and it says, now there might be a little difference from Harvard, Stanford, I don't know, but if it says a private name,
I don't think
There
when
are-
you're talking about Stanford or Harvard, that's pretty much
right, but they're saying
pretty
like,
picky.
yeah, but they're saying like you're automatically gonna get a better job because it says St. John's instead of Eau Claire.
And that is so fucking
and that is
false.
so wrong. Again, this is a society brainwash norm that people are like, like I know credentials of people that went to private college and they literally right now are doing nothing with their lives.
You know what my roommate did out of college? 2 stories.
Okay.
I went to Willamette University, private school in Salem, Oregon.
Ooh, fancy.
No, out
You
like
smoke a lot of weed out there, bro?
Yeah,
so many
hippie.
people did.
Fucking
My roommate
hippie.
from sophomore year worked at a
Yeah.
gas station. That was
Okay.
his job out of college after graduating.
Sure.
And my other good friend cremated cats. That was his job out of college.
Was
like,
he
after
super passionate
graduating.
about it?
No,
And did he
not
love
at
it?
all.
Love it.
Does he have a poppin' Instagram for
Their
cremating
response
cats?
is like pays the bills, and like I don't know about my.
Look at this
sophomore
one I
friend,
stuffed
but,
today, boys. This one's a gem.
You absolutely know that cremating cats is going to go in the description
Yeah.
of this episode.
Oh,
Alec
hey,
is just
Alec.
loving it.
Dude, check out my Soch, bro. Just got this big cat. Stuffed this one today. Oh, boy.
I just want to know what your friend looks like
Yeah.
that did that. Be like, oh, that makes
I'll
sense.
show you a
Yeah.
picture. His name is Chad. He's hilarious. Such an awesome guy.
I kind of want to
Oh,
meet this guy
God,
now
yeah.
because
He,
it's a really...
he became a music teacher, so he turned it
cool.
around. He got it going. I have no idea if my friend's he's not my friend anymore, but still working at the gas station. Don't know.
What'd you do?
Sad.
What'd you do, Colin?
Yeah.
What did I do? Here we listen to you. No, let's get back on topic here. Okay.
I love giving
No.
him shit.
Talking about debt. Alec, you said you had something you wanted to talk about in debt before the show.
Wait, before we go, though, you were saying, you were
What?
talking about your friends and their career, and it's just like, they're like leading into like nothing. It's like you went to a private college and then it's like, blah, nothing happens.
Yeah, one of them made it happen. I know a lot of people who are just
But even
they're
when you
lost.
say made it happen,
Yeah.
it's funny when you actually talk to that person, though. You're like, hey, man, what do you do? And they're like, oh, I work for a mortgage company. And it's like, oh, cool. Do you like that? And they're like,
No.
I mean, it pays the
Yeah.
bills. And I go, when
Isn't
I hear
that, like,
that,
yeah.
that makes my pee-pee soft.
Yeah,
Like,
well,
I just go,
well, I think
Pays the
what?
bills.
It pays, it puts food on the table, and I'm like, you're fucking miserable. Like, and I look at that and I go, one, that's not inspiring or motivating. And I go, I don't feel bad for you. It's not sounding like a dick. It's just like, dude, you decided to fucking do that. Like, you're not passionate about mortgages. And
you
if
went
you
in
are,
debt to do that.
yeah, exactly. That's fucked.
That is
because
fucked.
that is a business move. That's a funny thing. When parents are in, your investment is into your kid, and you're going into like and they're like, hey, my parents put up $100,000 for me to get a degree. Your parents are putting money down in the stake in the game, and it's like you're gonna get that return on investment of that. Yikes, probably not.
Some
And
do, most don't.
most don't. And then
Here, do you want to go into? Can I read statistics? I love statistics. I've
go for
got
it.
some.
I wanted to hear about the debt
Oh
since
no,
we're on that
okay, let's
topic.
go.
with
Yeah,
his
no, let's go.
Well, I think.
Sibs.
Well, I just look at. So yeah, I didn't go to college, and it just
Look at that
I just,
snooty ass face.
I just want to be like, I don't think you're allowed here anymore.
Oh gosh.
I'd like to say I'm doing okay for myself.
You're doing all right, man.
Doing all right.
Man bun and all.
Red haired.
But okay,
Mm-hmm.
so perfect example. I didn't go to college. I have no debt. It's a pretty nice feeling.
It is a
great
good
feeling.
feeling.
Yeah.
Me neither.
Yeah.
No, I don't.
And
I'm kidding.
And then I look at my siblings. They're both in school. They're both going to school for reasons that you definitely have to go to school. They're going to private schools, and yeah, they, I'm not going to say numbers, but they're paying a lot of money.
6 figures, 3 figures, 2 figures, 1 figure. What's going
A
on?
good amount.
We're gonna go 6.
But then
I would. That's
the way I
standard,
look at things is, so a lot of these people dump just crazy amounts of money into school to get a job. Who knows if they're going to get a job from that degree
Yep.
that they just got. Now they're working a job that they're not passionate about, and the only motivation that they have to wake up in the morning is to get their asses out of that debt that they got themselves into.
It's not even like
That's sad.
what's fucked about that is like you're setting yourself up already
for failure.
for failure before you even got out the gate.
Yeah.
And but again, you did that to yourself. There was no gun to your head saying you need to go to fucking nursing school and be $500,000 in debt. No, like, you fucking did that. You're a dumbass. Like, what are you doing? And people think it's glitz and glam. Like, they can post up, like, I'm gonna be a doctor. You're not a fucking doctor. And most people, they drop out, or they're like, hey, and good for you. Like, if that's not your thing, take a step back and
right there.
No, not you. Sorry, I'm just saying, like, rewire and like figure out what you want to do. But you being 100-something thousand in debt, and then just going,
your life can't start.
Your life won't start.
No,
you're
can't. You're like,
I'm
you're
working
married.
as a barista at Starbucks, or I'm flipping burgers. Nothing wrong with those jobs. But
No,
you,
I'd
in
rather-
the back of your dome, you're 280,000.
Yeah,
in debt.
well, you
Oh
think
my
what's
God.
one of the, or probably the biggest stressor for anyone in life is lack of money. And when you live a life where you know for X amount of years you have no money and you have to pay money because of the money you put into something, that's what you have to do. You have to get out of that debt or else you're screwed. That's a life of anxiety. And it's not going to go away because that debt's not going away for a long time.
Speaking of contributing to mental health, that's a huge factor.
You got it.
It's an added stress factor.
The blueprint of what goes on in society, what people need to take ownership on, is that what is projected in the world does not work. It's not the end all be all. But people think you have to go to 4-year school. After high school, you go to college. After college, you get a job. After you get a job, you have family and kids. And then after that,
you die.
well, you kind of ride off in the sunset, right?
In
and
Florida,
that's it.
you go down
And
to Florida and you
old
sit on the
balls.
beach
Naples, retire.
and look like a
prune.
look like a
Prune.
football.
Like, I don't know if you guys looked, but that sounds horrible, and I'm not opting into that lifestyle. And so when I hear those stories, or people bring up this discussion about, like, I went to a private college, my big thing is I don't give a fuck. It doesn't impress me, and I go, what are you doing now?
What did
and
you
when I
do
say
with
that
it?
to them,
Yeah.
you can almost like see the fucking like, whoa, this guy like cuts the chase. I'm like, because it does not matter. It's about how you apply your shit into this world to then do something. I don't give a fuck if you went to Harvard. I don't give a fuck that you went to Stanford. The first thing that pops in my head as a business owner is like, man, you're in a grip of debt. So what are you doing to whittle that debt down? Or are you doing something that you're passionate about? And if I don't hear, yep, I'm doing this business I'm passionate about, or this thing, or whatever, but I'm a gazillion dollars in debt, I'm like, you're a fucking moron.
And I
like,
think-
you don't impress me, Stanford. You don't impress me, Harvard. Because I know they're not instilling that, level of knowledge. It's like, come on.
Well, what
It's like,
annoys me the most about
pisses
this
me
is
off.
while you're trying to recover from this like insurmountable debt of student loans, is
Right.
that these schools are still harassing you with alumni funds, like give us more money,
Yeah,
like,
dude,
keep the
it's
school
like
going, help brainwash the next generation.
Suckling the teat.
So we were talking about this earlier, and college professors and how crazy it is these days. So when you go to college, high school, all that, these teachers, college professors are supposed to be these people that are helping shaping the minds of the youth. And nowadays, especially with how political the United States has definitely become, that it's become less about teaching and more pushing personal agendas of what their belief systems are. Like that whole video with like the whole Purdue University professors and students that want to take the word man out of the dictionary because it's offensive.
Ridiculous.
So
Did you, by the way, when I saw the clip of that, and you know why I couldn't stop laughing, is the woman, the guy who was the anchor, was being extremely sarcastic.
Oh, yeah,
Like, this
and
chick is a moron. And how she was talking, and she was like, it's just really offensive, the word man. And I'm like, what is this chick smoking?
Well,
like,
and you think
she is on like a whole level of idiot.
Look at it from a parental aspect.
Yeah.
So you're helping your kid pay to go to school for these quacks
Oh, at Purdue, you're saying? Yeah.
to put this shit into your kids' minds?
Yeah.
That's
I almost think like
insane.
parents paying for it. Joke's on you.
Oh
Yeah.
my
Like, my
god.
God.
Again, it goes back to business. It's an investment. Your kid is an investment. What's the ROI on that? You're fucked. Like, as a parent, I've heard this from like many people. They're like, well, my daughter's going to a Division I college, and it's like, why? Why are you going to Division I and not a community college?
Is she an athlete?
Yeah. Is she a scholarship
Is
Division
she a scholarship
I athlete?
D1 athlete?
No.
No. Okay.
Does she have any expenses that the school is covering because of her credentials? No. Okay, last time I checked, you can go to a community college, bang out what you're trying to do in a fraction of the cost, move into the quote-unquote real world and start hacking away at what your passion is.
Without the debt.
Without the debt and making income and creating an empire and building shit, then, I mean, I'll be real, after 2.5 years of college, I was like, I'm ready to get the fuck out.
Well,
It was, you know, it's just like, it's a joke, man. I think it's the parents that is a huge problem. The kids kind of just...
It's their generation.
I don't want to
that's what
make
it
my
was.
parents upset. I'm trying to do this to please them because it's the right thing to do. And that's my hard air quotes because it's bullshit, though.
We love air quotes on this show.
We do. I
Love
fucking love air quotes. But I get fired up because I look at people, I go, you are so fucking dumb. Like, if I went to college right now, if you asked me the question, Jeff, would you have done exactly what you did in college in my past if you're in this time? Fuck no. Not even close.
I will.
Nope.
Well, two things. One on that. Fuck no for like the money costs and everything.
Correct.
Yes for something else, which I want to get into like at kind of the end of this segment. Just one other quick comment to what Alec was saying. I remember a core curriculum class. It was anthropology.
Oof.
I had to take it when I went to Willamette University. I could not take it. It was forced upon me.
Same with me. It was a general.
Yeah, and the teacher
Bullshit.
used the entire class to tell every one of her 25 students to vote for Barack Obama.
That's such horseshit.
That was her entire agenda for the entire class. And
So,
this is
yeah.
not a political comment or anything, just like that's what she used her class for.
I don't care who you're pushing political. I don't fucking.
It's
but
wrong.
the fact that you are taking your own personal feelings into the situation and trying to project that
Yep.
onto young impressionable people,
Right.
of course they're gonna fucking do that.
I'll never forget how she ended the class. She looked at us all with a really serious face and did like the whole nodding thing around and then said, I hope you make the right decision.
Oh God, I'm gonna
Yeah.
throw up.
Like,
But see,
that
and that's the thing too, is like I think, or I'm hoping, I always have a positive outlook on shit, and I really hope that kids or the younger youth, I mean, I'm only 33, but
You're
anyone,
old, dude.
old balls, anybody younger though in the college wheelhouse right now, that they are questioning and they are saying fuck that. You're not being rebellious, you're just going, no, that's, if I heard that in my class, I would have, and this is just my person, I would have got up after everyone left and I would have confronted that teacher and been like, what does this have to do with anything that we're supposed to learn? And I feel kids are smarter, especially with social media. They're like, what is this bullshit? And they'll say, no, this isn't worth my time. And I really just hope that, one, a lot of the parents need to realize what is really going on, and the school systems need to get a fucking wake-up call real quick.
Yeah, back to the teachers. Like, I would not be telling my kids if I was a teacher to go and like prepare for college. I would be teaching them the basics, and I would be like, here's the real world. Here's what you're really going to face. If you want to do it, these are like,
Right.
the positives. There is a benefit for doing it, but just understand that this is what, I mean, like, let me jump into these statistics real quick.
Yeah.
Because
Here's part of your class. Ready?
What?
Hey guys, this is called a bill. When this piece of paper comes through on your table, you need to pay it. And if you don't, there's this thing called
the government.
And
Collections.
then your collections hits you, and then your credit card debt is skyrocketing. That's the kind of shit that people, or what was the big one you talked about was awesome, is about interactions with people.
I was gonna say that.
Relationships. When you
How
have
to
a
collaborate.
how to
Yeah.
collaborate. Also, when you break up with a spouse, a girlfriend, a
That is
boyfriend,
so everyone
how
is gonna go through a
to
breakup.
take that mental capacity, if it's a positive or negative, and how do you channel it to be productive and not melt down? Because I mean, dude, I've been in relationships where I'm like, my world is coming to an end.
That's how it felt after my first
I
relationship.
thought we were gonna get married and have a family, and then all of a sudden you fast forward a year and you go, what the fuck was I thinking?
A breakup, one of the top 5 most stressful things you will go through in your
Sure.
life. And like, again, just tying back into mental health, it's all interconnected, dude.
It is.
Shows how much it is.
Yeah,
and
for
like
sure.
we need to prepare people for this.
Well, yeah, and with technology, I think there definitely has to be this happy medium because
Yeah.
you look at kids, younger kids, high school, middle school, all that. They can text and do all these amazing formed sentences, but you put them in front of someone without a phone to have a conversation, it's like, I'd rather talk to this goddamn wall. So you have to have, it's phones, social media.
It's kind of like your dating experience, right? Like, she looks great from the exterior, but then you meet her and you're like, hello. It's just nothing there.
So it's so important to be able to function in today's society with technology and everything, but it's just as important
to function without
it and to be able to have an intelligent and structured conversation with another person.
How many times have either of you heard this or been at dinner with someone who's doing this while they're talking? I want to fucking punch that person's head.
Colin, why don't you punch that person's head?
Because I'm not a violent person in a public place. But I will absolutely call them out.
Yeah, it's about balance of taking both great tools, technology, and social skills, mushing it together, create your curriculum around that. And that's breeding or building the youth for success, for opportunity, for chasing your dreams, something you want to go for. You know, I mean, dude, right now I'm thinking about it. It's like, it makes my stomach turn. Not once in college or anything did they talk about like relationships or, Jeff, if you're, stressed out with anxiety or mental health, someone you can go to, someone that this like really cool teacher that helps you out, or like, hey man,
why doesn't everyone here's a forced class personal counseling? Why doesn't every kid have one?
Every single kid should.
Like, they really should.
And
but
let's hear these
statistics,
stats, bro.
All right, stat line, and this is crazy. Okay. All right. So the average fee, getting back into how far in debt you are. So if you're considering going to college, these are some numbers. It. Well, yeah, keep it in mind.
You like that?
Rethink it. We're going to get to the positives because they do have positives.
We're positive people here.
But here's some numbers that might make you think twice. So right now, the average fee of a 4-year United States University college for the year 2017 to 2018 is $20,770 for an in-state school. Yep. If I live in Minnesota and I go to the University of Minnesota, that's how much
20 G's
approximately it's going to cost me per year.
Plus taxes, plus extra fees, yeah.
Yep, that's not including textbooks, not including living, not including anything.
It's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money. Now,
you know what I could do with 20 grand?
Student, yeah, now if I'm an out-of-state student.
2 chicks at the same time.
God.
Come on,
no, let's say I'm from California and I want to go to the University of Minnesota. It's going to cost me $35,420 to come to an out-of-state school, and that's an average university.
Right.
Now, if it's a private school, that number jumps to $46,950 per year for a private school.
Dude, it's not
per year
worth it.
What justifies that price?
It's a great question.
What justifies that price?
I'll tell you what it does.
And they ask you for more money every year.
Every year. I mean, it's the Starbucks or Caribou coffee that they put in my, walk to my dorm. The Jamba Juice I can access.
Unreal.
It's a joke. It is
you said, what did I spend a lot of college doing? Honestly, when's the next house party? Oh, that girl's hot.
I would like to ask that question. So you go to a private school, the administration office. Why am I paying $49,000 a year? Tell me why exactly it costs this much. What is it all going
here? Can I be honest with you though?
They have a pre-prepared speech that they give you.
They do, but here's the funny thing, guys. At the end of the day, though, it falls back on the individual.
It does.
The private school's not like, Alec, you have to go here. But people are the fucking sheep, and they're getting brainwashed to think if I don't go here to Cornell, I'm a piece of shit. You're trying to prove stats to who?
And who's brainwashing you? Parents and teachers.
Parents and teachers. It boils back down. I laugh at that shit. 49 grand?
No, it was 47 grand. But still.
Okay. Either way.
47 grand. Statistics. Hey, statistics not.
Stat boy.
We're going to be fair. 47 grand.
That's his new nickname. Colin Stat Boy Jones.
Stat Boy. Okay, but here's the flip side of those statistics. So, everyone, now that you've just heard the numbers, here is the average completion rate. So, first, fun fact, the United States has the lowest college completion rate in the developed world.
That makes sense.
Out of, I think it was 19 countries that were monitored doing this survey.
Okay.
But, so, according to the NCS, less than 40% of undergraduates attend school full-time. Now, out of that 40%, 3/4 of them are going to end up graduating within 6 years. So, that's a decent number. But on the other hand, the 60% who are the normal person who have to work a job like you did while they're at school, and they're going part-time and full-time and shifting back and forth, over 2/3 of those people will not graduate. Which is just, like, to me, that is just an insane, baffling statistic.
Yeah.
So,
it's fucked.
Yeah, it is. That's...
The system does not work.
Can you imagine how those people feel for whatever reason they don't complete? How damaging that can be?
Oh yeah, like people, the debt doesn't go away if you fail school.
Do you know they think though? Do you know they realize that? Like a lot of times too, and this could be like with your situation of your siblings and whatnot, is like they think like there's this golden potentially way to like it'll just go away. It'll disappear. You're 180. What? No,
right,
it
Willy
doesn't.
Wonka? Nope.
No,
it doesn't do that.
Because guess what? They're gonna keep chipping away and then you put build interest on it. It's
and then crazy. Not even to mention that you have all that debt, but now you're out of school and you got to live life. You got to pay for other shit too.
And it gets
it's not just.
It's not just remember those loans. Bills we talked about?
Life.
It's one last thing, and I will get off my stat train. It gets the dropout rates get markedly worse. Like we're talking exponentially worse if you take a break, like a lot of people do.
1 year off,
like
man.
1 year off.
I'm gonna do 1 year off and
school.
just coast. I'm gonna travel, and then I'm gonna hit it back.
Yep. If you start college at 20 or later, you are exponentially more likely to fail or drop out.
Common sense.
It is. And that's like
straight up. If you told me that, and people I've met, they're like, "Yeah, man, school was a grind. 4 years was tough. I'm gonna take a year off, travel the world, see shit, and I'll get back to the textbook." I'm like, I just look at me. You're fucked.
Because you're
Quote,
like,
you're fucked.
Yeah.
Why in the hell would you want to go back to school
after
not doing it?
It's just like, dude, it's putting like your own demons and bullshit at your own head, or they heard it from someone, or a parent, or someone. It's like, dude, guys, use your brain.
Did we talk about this? Was this on the episode? School is the real world.
We didn't.
I want to say. I wanted to.
Yeah.
I wanted to say it's funny how it would be really nice for these college professors and everything to stress to the students, this is school. This isn't the real world.
You are in a bubble.
This isn't it.
Yeah.
Once you get out of here, things change.
Good luck, Johnny.
You know what? Just like common sense. It's like the saying. People say, "Oh man, I wish I could go back to school." Doesn't that mean it's not the same as real life?
Yeah.
Like what?
Yeah.
How many times have you heard that shit?
Yeah.
If I could go back to high school again.
You know what they wish? They wish they were at the parties.
Yeah.
They're hanging with the girls, drinking that natty ice.
But is that what it is? Is that why people feel the need to go to school? It's not because that's what you're supposed to do, but it's the things that come with school.
Yeah.
The partying, the getting out of your parents' house, all that. So what is your motivation to actually go to school? Is it to actually go to school to get an education?
I would say no.
Or is it the after hours of school?
No, and you provided the perfect transition. So like let's go right into like
Great job.
Yeah, good job.
Man bun.
Thank
oh
you.
My god, look at you, Velociraptor trainer. But no, let's talk about that seriously. Okay, so we have spent the past hour kind of saying why you shouldn't go to school, and like that's just, again, we're not telling you like what to do. That's just like the current belief system that we're having. But there is also a benefit, and this is why I said my answer is split into two parts. If you ask me, would I go over and do it again? For the cost and the classes I took, absolutely not. For the friendships I made and for the value that provided me teaching how to be an independent person, absolutely yes. So there's like a double-edged sword there. Like it taught me, I changed a lot. It taught me how to function more, like on my own.
I mean, it taught me how to make frozen pizzas and get wasted at house parties. But yeah, I mean, dude, it's like, let's be real though. Like, is that value chalked up to what you paid?
That's the debate.
No. Fuck no. I can answer no. Like, you look at things now, you're like, there's no way. Even me going to Eau Claire, public college, it was like, I'm very grateful that my parents did that. And again, this was a different time, right, than what we're in now. The reason I'm anti this situation, or what I did technically, is that if school was wired to teach me common sense, was wired to teach me how to balance a checkbook, how to do QuickBooks,
grammar,
how to do how to develop, how to do the grammar, and like develop your business or whatever you want to do, and how to use social media as leverage to catapult something. Now you got value. Now would I put down 15,000, 20,000? For sure.
But like that's the big. I mean, you hit it on the head, man. That's a reasonable price, for that. That's not $47,000 a year for these collectives.
Let me throw something out there.
It's a status symbol. Is what it boils down to.
Let me throw something out there.
Status symbol.
So, like we've talked about it many times. The experiences you have in your life are what shape you into who you are today.
Yes.
Do you think? Let's say. I'm going to ask you this question.
Straight for me?
Yeah.
Cool.
So,
I've never done this before.
Oh boy.
So if you didn't go to school.
Yes. So basically, to answer your question, collecting a paycheck, 9 to 5, plumbing or not, I just feel that mentality of, either way you look at it, it doesn't matter about the actual job. I feel that system just didn't work for me personally, and that's why I had to kind of take matters into my own hands, to be honest with you. I mean, some people are wired where they're okay with that 9 to 5.
Yeah.
And it's just like the daily grind, and they live for the weekend. And it's like, I don't knock that if that's your thing and that makes you truly happy, like, good for you. Yeah. But I just think that that part of it is like what you said. Going into what I did, college and everything, there's a little more to it. I think the main thing that was my catapult was the technology aspect. That totally changed the game. So.
Yeah, I just think when it comes down to like college or anything like that, maturity. I mean, how can you expect to know exactly what you want to do for the rest of your life? Choose a major that you're going to be paying for when you're 18 years old. I think it's absurd.
Yeah. What is
absolutely
it?
absurd.
Oh, and by the way, you can't even drink alcohol yet. Yeah. But you should know what you want to do with your life.
And nearly $200,000.
Yeah.
So how do you
private schools?
Right.
You're like, let's say, I'm going to go pre-med. But you're 18, that's what you decide to do. You're 3 years in and realize, I don't want to be a doctor. So now I just have 3 years under my belt of schooling that I'm not going to use because I'm going to do something completely different. I mean,
have fun digging out of that hole.
There was a guy in ad school I went with, and he's like, I went to school to be a lawyer for 2 years, dropped out, now I'm here. That didn't drop with him.
Yeah, man, have fun with that.
I think it...
But he went to a private school, right? So then he should be... Yeah. He should be successful.
when I have kids, hopefully I do someday, family, all that, and if
said that so enthusiastically, family, all that.
Yeah, I was like, yikes.
But if there is still college when I have kids or whatever the system may be, I don't know. I would just stress, know what you. I mean, if you're gonna do something, go into it doing it because it's what you want to do, not what you think I want you to do.
For sure.
And go in and give it 100%. Because it's your life. You're not living for me, you're living for you.
Yep.
So go in and do what you want to do, not for anyone else, because you're the one who has to wake up in the morning.
The game's already changing. Yeah. I mean, which thank God. I mean, it is changing. It's not doing. That was weird. Just like burst. That's crazy.
I don't know what it's doing.
I feel everything's changing though. Yeah. I think it's just more of the last people to like really go, oh shit, we need to make a change is the school and the school system. But kids are getting smarter, man. They're like on their shit in their careers, even leaving. Is this taking pictures?
I have no idea what this.
That's crazy.
Doing right now.
No, it's all good. But the main thing is like I think a lot of kids are proving people wrong. They're like, hey. I dropped out of college. I'm making more money than you are, Bill, and you've been grinding a 9 to 5. And again, it's kind of like sticking it to them. Like, you guys fixate on fucking money. Money will happen if you're hardworking and passionate about what you want to do.
And that's what I want to like.
Everything's
lucrative. Like, if you're happy doing something,
dude,
I would recommend taking the pay cut to do it because, like you just said, passion translates to cash.
Dude, and
it
now
does. If you're good at something,
and that's the beauty of today is with technology, your passion is lucrative in almost anything you do. 20 years ago, fuck that, no way. You couldn't make income. I can be a painter of like or a woodsmith. Be like, I love making things with, out of wood and make these cool little things. I'm gonna make an Instagram. Click, click, click. I'm going to do a one-page website. Literally, I can do it from my couch. You can start a business or your LLC or anything and make money
in your bed
by sitting at home.
Yep.
Like, it's amazing, dude. And I just think there is a way to tie in schooling with that mindset.
Yeah.
The how to become successful or do your passion. We have more people like that. One, people are going to be happier. Life's going to function better. Just better things are going to happen all around for everyone.
I'm super excited, but at the same time terrified to see what like the school system, everything's going to be like in like 10 years, 15 years.
I mean, that's honestly what we're trying to bring value. That's why we do
I'd say
these
this.
things. People have a say in it.
Yeah.
You're terrified. I'd say it's going to be better than it is now. It can't really get worse, because they've stuck with this old school program and curriculum. It's like, I feel
it will get to the point where
like
people,
talking about legalizing pot.
Yeah, they will
not getting
let
on
go
the
to
whole
school.
weed game. No, they do. They have a college in Arizona right now. They offer a 2-year program, degree on how to be a proper marijuana growing person, like your career.
Pot farmers.
Pot farmers. It's a legal thing in Nevada, Colorado, I think maybe one other state. Washington. It will eventually. It's so fucking lucrative. They are teaching a college class saying, guys, this is how you do it the right way. Amazing. There you go. Start thinking like that, and things start molding and happening. There you go.
It's a good mindset. Well, I think that's a wide variety of stuff we covered. So I think that's a good spot to wrap up this episode. Thank you so much for tuning in, guys. We appreciate every single one of you listening to this. That's the entire reason we do these podcasts.
All of you.
Fist bump. If you found this episode entertaining or got value from it, do us a huge favor and subscribe to the Iron and Think podcast on iTunes or Spotify, as well as our YouTube channel where you can actually watch the videos if that's how you prefer to listen to the content. It really helps if you want to see my face.
That beautiful mug.
It really helps let us know that we're on the right track, seriously, all your feedback. And on that note, please email us at podcast@ironandinkfitness.com. Have at it with questions and feedback, and we will try to get them featured on the beginning of upcoming shows. If you want to follow Jeff, Alec, or myself, our Instagram handles are going to be posted in the description below. And of course, you can follow Iron and Ink at Iron and Ink Fitness and ironandinkfitness.com. Use the code podcast to receive a 10% discount on all the cool shit we've got dropping.
Oh, discount on swag?
Oh, man.
Okay.
Any closing thoughts, guys?
No, guys, just go. Don't let society norms cloud your judgment. Go for what you want. I'm not being this cliche fucking guy, but it's proof. I'm sitting here and telling you I went through the university route and there's great things I learned, but man, life's too short. You gotta be smart, do what the fuck you want, and make moves. Start doing anything. Anything is gonna get you to where you want to go, and just there's no better time than now. And quit making fucking excuses, because no one gives a shit about that. Dive into it. Be happy that you're alive and you're doing your thing, and push forward. Alec.
My last comment is sausage and pepperoni pizza is the only pizza combination to have. Yeah.
You can't say that because you ain't going to be the champ, boy.
Oh boy.
Pizza champ, though. That episode
champ.
will be soon.
We'll get that going down. So thanks so much for tuning in,
Thanks, guys.
We'll see you next episode.
Deuces.